Here we are at an area known as Green's Redan, and that is Brigadier General Martin Green. He's one of 5 Confederate generals killed here at the battle during the Vicksburg campaign. And we saw a video earlier of the Union approach to the Stockade Redan, and that's the Stockade Redan right there. Green's Redan is part of this Stockade Redan complex. There's also another fortification on the other side of Stockade Redan, and these 3 forts, or this entire complex of forts, guarded the Graveyard Road entrance to the city of Vicksburg. From this angle, you can see right there the road cut that the Ohio troops got bogged down, and the bodies of the killed and wounded stacked up. As you can see, the distance between the Stockade Redan here and that road cut is probably 50 yards or so, so well within rifled musket range, killing range for sure. And just the narrowness of that road, it just became a funnel for the Federal troops, and they were just shot down like dogs as they came through there. The bodies of the killed and wounded began piling up, and the other troops were unable to get past it. It just became a huge bottleneck. The other thing I wanted to point out here at this Green's Redan section is this monument you see over here, and that is the Missouri Monument. It's one of 2 monuments here at Vicksburg National Military Park that is a monument to both the Union and Confederate soldiers who fought here. If you had a guess as to which the other monument would be, if you said Kentucky, you would be absolutely correct. But in this particular portion of the battlefield, you did have U.S. troops from Missouri fighting against Confederate troops from Missouri, right here in this location of Green's Redan. And there's a story that after the May 22nd assault here, the U.S. Grant left the bodies of the killed and wounded outside the trenches for 3 days before Pemberton sent him a message saying, basically, please, can we police up these bodies and get them buried? The smell, obviously, the suffering of the wounded that were still alive was just getting out of control. But again, the rules of war were different, and to call for a truce to bury the dead was tantamount to admitting defeat, and Grant was not going to do that. And eventually it was Pemberton who sent the letter, who said, for the sake of all that's holy, for the love of God, basically, can we get these bodies taken care of? During that ceasefire, during that truce to get that done, a soldier in the 8th Missouri asked if there was a soldier here in the Confederate Missouri troops that were defending this spot, and indeed there was. And the son who fought in the 8th Missouri Union met up with his father, who was fighting in the Confederate Missouri regiment that was stationed here, and they had a moment to embrace and to see each other. And that was an instance that we hear about a lot of Civil War battles, brother against brother. Here we had father against son. It was truly a war amongst family members that divided families. And you can see here, this Redan and the line immediately to its right were held May 19th, and they repulsed the assaults here. The 7th Mississippi Infantry was here at that time. And May 22nd, you had the 7th Mississippi here again, the 5th Missouri, and 1 company of the 1st and 4th Missouri Infantry consolidated. So those are Cockrell's Brigade. Cockrell's Brigade were the shock troops for the Confederacy. They were under John Bowen, who was probably the best division commander that Pemberton had. And his Missouri guys, what's amazing to me is that there were any of them left at the end of the Vicksburg campaign, because they featured in so many of the engagements here, and they were used as the reserve for the Confederate forces. They were the shock troops that got sent in. And again, you can see the Stockade Redan right there. But the Confederate Missouri troops, they were tough, and they'd been around a long time, and they were the troops that got sent in to the thickest fights, and daily their numbers began to dwindle. But it was here at the site of Green's Redan that Missouri troops that fought for the North and Missouri troops that fought for the South fought each other.